This is Kelly, and it's time for your Wednesday Wellness Wake Up with Dr. Sharon Ufberg, brought to you by the Napa County Chiropractic Association. Good morning, Dr. Sharon.
Good morning, Kelly. It's a beautiful day to be alive in Napa Valley.
Yes, and I have a feeling you're going to make it even better for us.
Well, I'm very happy to have a guest with us, a special lady, Elayne Doughty. Good morning, Elayne.
Good morning.
It's just really wonderful to have Elayne. She drove in from Marin. I just want to tell you a little bit about her before we get started. Yeah. Elayne Doughty is the founder of Planet Breathe. So we're going to be doing some breathing this morning.
Okay.
She's also the founder of the Soul Spa and the Queens of Transformation. Elayne is a psychotherapist, a soul midwife, a speaker, a transformational coach, and women's empowerment expert. She has had over 20 years of experience working with mental health and spiritual guidance, and I'm just delighted that she's come in to talk to us today a little bit about how to, make that day great even when some things have gone awry. Good morning, Elayne.
Good morning.
Good morning, both of you. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
So great to have you here. So tell us, do you have some real tips for someone driving down the road this morning, how we're going to make the day a little bit better if we kind of woke up wonky, as I like to say?
Oh, I know. I love that word, wonky. Woke up wonky. I think I kind of did this morning. I had some stressful things going on last night, and I woke up and I thought, ugh.
Oh, Elayne, okay.
So you can work on me.
Great, Kelly. So for all of you out there who might have woke up a little wonky this morning, the first thing I'm going to suggest to you right now, wherever you are, is just go ahead and take a deep breath.
All right. Bob makes me do that, but it's for a different reason. Okay, anyway.
Exactly. So actually, I'm going to ask you to take not just one deep breath, but 2 or 3 deep breaths, because even if you're driving in your car right now, or wherever you are, maybe you're rushing to get out the door, maybe you're trying to get your kids to organized, or whatever you're doing, just go ahead and take that breath, because really what happens is when our day starts to get wonky, one of the things we do is we stop breathing and we tense up and we start to move in the direction of more wonkiness. Have you noticed how that happens?
Yeah, my stomach stays very tight and
then things just start to kind of fall on top of you, one thing after another. This morning I lost my way on the way to the studio. Can you believe that? I had a really wonky moment. So what I did was I actually stopped the car and I took 3 deep breaths and I reset my compass. So that's what I'm going to invite everybody on the call this morning to do, and just say, okay, if your day is wonky, take a moment to slow down and breathe and reset your compass. And it's a really simple technique. I want to just share one other thing with you all out there. I do this all the time. You might know those Post-it notes, those yellow Post-it notes you can buy. So this is what I'm going to ask you to do. Go ahead and write the word breathe on a Post-it note. Put it in your car, put it on your computer, put it in the bathroom, put it anywhere that you go throughout the day, and just allow yourself to see that word breathe as a prompt for you to slow down and reset your compass in the direction that you want to go in, which is towards a better feeling day. So that's a really basic technique.
Maybe so you're giving yourself some oxygen.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Maybe you need to, give us a little bit of a technique of how to breathe. If some people, I find they're like, they've got this very shallow breathing. I'm not sure that's what you mean.
Are you panting over
there? People. Bob's going to get back in here. You just better stop.
After the last show. So I think it's really would be helpful. And I know you have lots of techniques of this, like kind of living life on purpose that you do. Could you share exactly what you mean by breathe? Like give us a real experience.
Sure. So go ahead. I'm going to ask you, if you can do this, if you're not driving, go ahead and put your hand on your heart and another hand on your belly. And just allow yourself to breathe into where your hands are sitting. And part of the thing with breathing is that when we breathe from just up in our chests, we don't really get any oxygen into our body. So this is what I'm going to ask you to do, is take a deep breath into your belly. Feel as if you can breathe right into your belly for a moment. So go ahead.
Letting the belly open.
Letting the belly fill out, and kind of like the thing that we don't want to do, which is to allow our bellies to pop out, right? We're always sucking it in.
I've got a little
right?
extra.
So right now, give yourself permission to have a belly.
Okay, all right.
Okay, no one's watching. Just allow yourself to have that belly and soften it. And breathe in through your nose and then gently exhale through your mouth. Because the other thing that people do a lot of the time is we don't actually let ourselves breathe out. We might take that breath in, but then we don't release it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't know if any of you do this, but I often hold my breath when I'm concentrating. I've noticed this on the computer. If I'm typing something, I'm like, And then I get to the end of the sentence and I let my breath out and
all
I'm
of a
like,
sudden you go,
exactly. Now, the thing is when we hold our breath, we give the signal to our bodies it's a state of emergency. We don't want to be living in that state.
Definitely not.
We get into a stressed
I didn't know
out
that
state.
was the case.
Yeah, because your body starts to be starved of oxygen because you're not
Oh.
breathing correctly. And then the body has
Okay.
a reaction to that, which increases the release of all kinds of stress hormones into your body. So when I'm saying you want to learn how to breathe, I'm really not saying that lightly. Because throughout your day, if you just learn how to take that breath, you are going to change how you feel.
One of the things that I found so surprising when I was treating patients regularly was how many people actually do reverse breathing, or they don't
reverse
realize.
breathing?
meaning, that the way in which you should naturally breathe is that when you take a deep breath in, like Elayne said, your belly opens, and when you exhale, your stomach contracts and goes towards your spine. But many people actually get so stressed that they're breathing the opposite.
Oh, they're breathing in and the stomach's coming in.
Yes, and so it's really counterproductive, and
Yeah.
you can't get you can't fill up your lungs with air because you really need your belly to relax, to be able to kind of open up your chest.
Right.
So I think this practice would be a very, very good thing. Give us another tip if someone's day's gone awry. What else can they do?
Okay, so this is the one that I do most often is when my day's gone awry, I just simply stop whatever it is I'm doing. Because that's the thing is that when you keep going doing the same thing and you're not getting the result that you want to get, then the best thing I can find to do is just to stop and take a moment to actually think about what I'm wanting. Okay, what do I actually want in this situation? And most of us, we're on autopilot, we're running through our days, and we're not actually paying attention to how we're feeling in the moment or what we really want. So for example, this morning I'll go back to getting lost. I was like, what do I want? I want to arrive at this studio relaxed, right?
Oh, right.
That's what I really want.
See, I would have said just arrive at the studio, but you added, but you added relax.
Yeah.
That's smart.
And so I was like, how can I create that situation? Okay, so I've got to have the intention to actually relax myself in order to get here in that state of mind, right? And so this is when I decided to pull off the highway and sit in my car for a moment, even though I was still lost, just to take that moment to say, okay, reset my compass towards the destination of being relaxed. Because we all have an internal compass inside that we can set toward the direction of what we want to feel. So in the moment I was feeling freaked out and frustrated because I'm like, I don't know where I am. The truth is I'm in control of that, and I can choose to change the direction that I'm going in. So I'm inviting anyone out there right now who is having a little bit of a wonky moment, perhaps not feeling how you want to, maybe the day's not going how you want it to go. Just take a moment to reorient yourself about how you want your day to be. Because we're actually in charge of that, which is the amazing thing, and we don't realize it, but we are, because we can't control any of that stuff that's going on outside, but we have the choice to control what's happening on the inside. And that's what we need to remember from moment to moment is, I can choose how I'm going to experience this.
Exactly. It's almost like, I'm sure you have a lot of experience in psychotherapy the same way when you're dealing and you're interacting with another person. It's the same thing. You can either be in the argument, or you can feel very defensive, you can be or you can stop and say, geez, why is this making me, what am I afraid of? What's really the root of my defensiveness or my anger? And the minute you actually are open to expressing that to the person that you're so sure you're right, and even if you know you're right, we all know
we all have
we're
to be right.
like on Facebook?
Yeah, we could say, I'm really feeling so upset because I'm actually afraid that you're going to walk out the door without kissing me goodbye this morning, or whatever.
Susan, that's a great point that you just made there, because I think that what happens most often is that we don't realize that underneath that irritation and upset, that usually there's one of two emotions going on. It's either fear or sadness, because those are two primary emotions, and then we tend to pile other emotions on top of those, and we tend to kind of, when we get into disagreements with each other, or we have an emotional reaction go on with our kid or our partner or our boss, what really can help is, again, taking that moment, and I'm all about taking the moment to slow it down, to actually ask the question to yourself, okay, what am I actually feeling right now?
What about anger? Because like last night, something happened and I was angry. And I didn't feel sad or afraid, I don't think.
Well, let me ask you this. Can I use
being very careful not to say what happened?
But when you were angry, if I ask you this, if you were to really go in underneath that anger, right? I suspect that some part of you had another emotion going on. So I mean, I could ask you what you were angry about, but I really would ask you to slow that down and say, okay, Kelly, what were you really angry about?
That someone I cared about was upset because of someone else's actions.
Okay. And why were you getting angry with them about it?
Because the person was out of line, and it caused the person I care about to be extremely upset.
Okay, so you were actually feeling pretty sad, I imagine, underneath it, that they were so upset.
Oh,
gotcha.
Right? Can you see how
you're
that's
right.
it? Right. That you were actually feeling sad for that person because you love and care about them so much that you were like, wow, I really don't want them to be hurt. But you
That's
see,
true.
we don't tend to
Yeah.
go to those more vulnerable places.
Right.
The fear and sadness is very vulnerable.
just go,
Anger is much
I was ready to pick
easier.
up the phone and my husband
yeah.
stopped me.
I said, okay.
Hold on, take a breath. He said,
Yeah.
take a moment. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah,
Smart
exactly.
husband.
Somebody
Yeah.
messes with someone I care about. Ooh, that's what pushes my button.
But I think,
Yeah.
wow, I can see that in your body and everything
Oh,
changes
yeah,
in
yeah.
you, right?
That's 'cause I don't get
that's-
mad easily,
Right,
but-
so that's how we recognize it. And so for anyone listening, I just say, if you have that
Yeah.
moment in your day where you get frustrated, irritated, or angry,
Yeah.
I'd ask you just to take that moment again
Take
and
the
ask that
moment.
question and say, well, is there something I'm frightened of here or something that I'm sad about? And can I risk owning that? Can I risk saying that?
Does that
instead?
diffuse it? I mean, how does that change anything?
Well, number one, what it does is it puts you more in touch with what's really happening inside of you. And especially if you're in a dispute with another person, when you bring that vulnerability forth, miracles can happen because the other person no one likes to have someone be angry with
No,
them, right?
no.
It's not a great
Yeah.
emotion, especially in a relationship.
Yeah.
And so if you can go from what you were angry about to actually saying, actually, I'm really sad that you said that to me, or I'm really hurt, then you
it
give the other
changes
person the
that.
opportunity to be compassionate towards you rather than to feel they need to fight you.
Or
I think
defend
the
themselves,
walls
right?
come down. The walls immediately come down. No one feels like they have to
Right.
win anymore. All of a sudden, you see this person in a different light.
You don't
Right,
have to
right.
win. Oh, that's such a
Do you
great
know,
feeling.
I think that this is more likely for women to do this. I mean, no offense, guys. But I can see guys changing the station right now going, whatever, this is a girl thing.
It's not a girl thing.
Not
It's
at
a
all.
human thing.
Right, right.
We're really, as human beings, we are, given this amazing machinery called this body, this amazing
Yeah.
thing that we live in. And really, it has all of the information we need in order to live a happy life. We just need to tune in more often. You know how you all tuned in this morning to the radio to listen to us? Well, we have a dial inside of us, and we get to tune into whatever station we want to be living on. And what I want to say to everyone out there is that you get to choose which station you want to live on. You can live on a station full of stress and anxiety and fear, or you can choose to live on a station where you're more in harmony. But you have to choose to change the dial. And that's where taking the breath and tuning in, actually asking the question, what's going on with me right now?
Right.
Well, you can really see how Elayne helps people with a painful past have a dynamic present and a unbelievably extraordinary
Wow.
future. Thank you, Elayne. It's so incredibly wonderful to have
You're
you here. I hope
welcome.
everyone out there takes a deep breath.
Yeah,
this
remember to
morning.
write that breathe
Yes.
on the Post-it note. I promise you, it will change everything. It will
I'm going
remind
to do
you.
it.
Me too. I'm going to go out and get some Post-it
My husband
notes.
will be happy.
It's such a good idea, and so simple and so easy to do.
Right.
And that holding the belly, making sure your belly's
Right.
big.
And that's
coming
what you do in singing. So I'm really familiar with that. But do I do it in everyday life?
Well, no, because we're taught not to have those bellies showing, especially
We're
us
holding
ladies,
it in.
right?
Yes. I love
Well,
it.
if people want to find Elayne
Yeah.
Doughty again, they can certainly go to her website, planetbreathe.com, right?
Totally. Planet Breathe, a
She's
breathing
up to
planet.
all kinds of interesting, wonderful things. And thank you so
This
much
is
for
wonderful.
being here
Thank you
today.
both.
Welcome. It was my pleasure.
And Dr. Sharon for this Wednesday Wellness Wake Up. It's brought to you by the Napa County Chiropractic Association. And members are at the Chef's Market to answer all your questions, so be sure to stop by. And you can get more information on their website, napachiro.com. And my wonderful chiropractor is in that group too. And so is Dr. Sharon. And they're wonderful. They'll change your life. Give them a chance. All right. We got your news coming up, weather and traffic at 1440 KVON 99.3 The Vine.